Hello everyone, I am Sahana Das, a student of Bennett University, majoring in computer science. I'm a third year student and recently I had the opportunity of interning at TATA Advanced Systems Limited. This was an 8-week internship program, and in a couple of minutes I'll be sharing my experience of a virtual internship and the insights it improved. So let's go ahead. Before getting into the details of how my internship went, I'd like to talk about how the experience of a virtual internship was. Well, during a time where COVID-19 has brought the entire world down to its knees, I had the sublime experience of gaining a lot of knowledge and getting familiar with concepts that I had no idea about regarding software development. So my project was regarding building an application to analyze, facilitate the navigation of the tool suite software reports. Well, since the explanation might be a little abstract, like I said, let me give you a brief description or a brief background of coding standards before talking about my project. Let's go. Well, organizations of various domains deploy different ways and resort to a plethora of tool suites to analyze static and dynamic software in their development lifecycle. The software of either kind, the host or the embedded model, possess the need to be debugged, scrutinized, edited and enhanced throughout the development process. Another essential part of any software lies in its standardization. Any business or organization relies heavily on specifically laid out coding standards of development and effectuous software. It is often observed that development of a software with both effectively running code and up-to-the-mark quality is seen as a tribulation. Time and again, software developers are found to neglect the quality standards of a software due to a multitude of reasons, maybe because of shortage of time or ignoring client requirements. Before digging deeper into various software coding standards and the related tool suites, it is obligatory that we get to know about the importance of coding standards in the development of any kind of software. If the usage of coding standards in a software development are neglected, the developers tend to have a free hand, which often leads things to go haywire, and issues relating to the security and performance of the software arise. The lack of following coding standards make the software vulnerable to bugs and attacks due to the high probability of inconsistency in logic, which results in errors. The flow of code, the reusability of code, response of the server, etc. are severely affected by poor coding standards. On the other hand, there are innumerable benefits of sticking to the basic structure of coding standards. Let me take you through some of the advantages. Some of the advantages are: the software is less vulnerable to fail since the implementation of coding standards during this development reduces the risk. The maintenance of the software developed during coding standards is uncomplicated and thus makes it effortless for the developers apart from the original author to enhance it and make improvements, again given a free hand or a supporting hand during maintenance. Also, the usage of coding standards makes the code relatively have lower complexity, which again minimizes the errors. Next, the code bears a consistent look, which facilitates the organization to fit the same into bigger applications in the future. Other plus points include easy fixing, considerable cost, and magnified efficiency of the software. Well, this is just a few of the points that emphasize the need of using coding standards during a software development. But unfortunately, the task of implementing these coding standards is not as smooth as expected, since the output of these software tool suites, which are used for the analysis and monitoring purpose of the usage of these coding standards, do not output in the desired format despite the availability of many such tool suites in the market. The project I worked on with my team under the guidance of our mentor, Mr. Gautam Govitraju, was to build an application to serve the purpose to offer a user interface that facilitates the user to analyze the code seamlessly. Well, the UI, taking the required information from the backend, displays the standards of code violated, highlighting the default lines, providing an option to search which line has been violated by which specific code by either ways, and many such operations which finally enables the user to effectively navigate through the code to inspect, scrutinize and enhance. Well, I'd like to end by saying that my 8-week internship with TATA Advanced Systems Limited gave me the opportunity to learn the ways of coding and operation in an avionics industry. Unlike the regular data science project that I usually dealt with during my university program and otherwise, this was a completely novel and different experience to understand software tool suite reports, learn about various coding standards like JSF Coding Standard, MISRA Coding Standard, etc. and design and understand the working that goes behind putting down the points what exactly a GUI would require to enable the user to seamlessly navigate according to the needs of different software tool suites. Overall, it was a wholesome experience with a lot of learning and exposure. Thank you, TATA Advanced Systems Limited, and I'd also like to thank Bennett University and my department to provide me with this option. Thank you. Let's check out a small demonstration of the application used to facilitate the usage of the software tool suite. Let's go ahead and run it. This is a GUI that pops up, the basic outlet. Now we select a file that we need to see and check the error analysis. Here's the error analysis with the stanzas of code given. Now if we want to display the lines of error, here's what we get. Next, if we want to check using a particular standard of code and display the lines of error, this is what we get. And all of this is pretty easy, and we can keep on using other standards of violation to check which particular lines have been violated. There are other options and operations like complexity analysis, but due to being bound by the NDA, it cannot be displayed, but this is how it runs.